might want to move in a little bit so you don't get people's heads in the way. Are you okay there? I'm good here, actually. Okay.
All right. What's up, brother? Just in general, first day.
You know, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of hustle. Believe it or not, we got a lot of stuff in already, and even the young kids haven't been here for 2 days prior. A lot of those kids know what to do, so it's going to be fun to evaluate them because I think we got some pretty good kids on campus right here.
How good does it feel for you? Because you didn't have this, you didn't have the benefit of this first day of training camp last season.
Absolutely. It's you know, the routes and stuff that we're running and the things we're doing are kind of the same but different, and so the quarterbacks are already just having the day and a half from the mini camp kind of are already getting that plugged in. They took two weeks to kind of go through it, and I could tell today that they're starting to come on.
How did Johnny look?
Johnny, he was just throwing the air routes. I told him just stand and watch today, and then he'll get a lot of the film work, and then he'll start taking some reps tomorrow.
Okay, so he didn't do 7-on-7 or skill or any of that stuff, and that was all by design?
Yeah, by design.
There's no issue there?
By design, no.
Okay, and you just want him to get up to speed?
I just want him because he doesn't know the terminology, he doesn't know anything. But tomorrow, guess what? He's going to walk in and start taking a couple.
What kind of familiarities, if any, with the playbook?
With him?
Yeah.
Nothing except last night at about 9:30, and he's probably spent a little more time. He was in the meeting, but I'm not waiting for he's got to catch up because we got guys in there, and he will. I mean, we got plenty of time in camp. By the time, I'd say in 2.5 weeks, he'll have a handle on everything.
The 2 segments Drew was referring to, Johnny spent like on the shoulder, Dan. Is that?
Yeah. That's it. Dan was talking him through each route, as it was called. Yeah.
What's going on with Mark Chapman and Sirocco?
Well, they're not here. That happens. Doesn't matter what league you're in. Some guys, you can't worry about things you can't control. Hopefully they'll get it solved, and both of them will be in here pretty quick.
So there's there's a gap in the contracts?
Well, they're obviously in contract negotiations back and forth, and so that always happens with, in particular, the high picks. That usually seems to happen. I don't know how it is up here, but every other league, USFL and NFL, happened. Would you like to,
when because you're trying to make up your mind about how you're going to work the ratio.
Right.
You want to get a look at Chapman to see if that can affect, like, what kind of depth you have there.
Absolutely. Right? But I'm thinking that we have some pretty good Canadian receivers, and a Canadian's probably going to line up in that spot. I think that he has the upside to maybe be one of the better Canadians on the team, but we have a bunch of guys that can run and play football that are Canadians, so that ratio is probably not going to affect that much, but you want to get the best ones out there.
Is he hurting himself by not being here, though?
Well, I think you always fall behind, You definitely, the longer he's out, the more he's going to be behind. It's kind of like what Johnny right now. I mean, if he had walked out here today, he'd be like Johnny, wondering what the heck, this is Chinese to me. I don't know, I don't know what they're saying. So, he's a smart kid, though. He'll catch up.
Scarfone got a lot of action.
Yeah.
That you had him. I mean, I know he's not number one,
right,
but he was playing with the other.
Well, he was number one today because Fabi had a little swelling before he came in. Fabi would have lined up there, but then guess what? Chapman's out, and Fabi's not here. So guess what? Scarfone's out there running that spot.
What's up with
He did good. He did good. I thought he did good on our mini camp, and he's got a chance.
Felix, day to day, where's he at?
I think he'll practice tomorrow. They told me he just missed today.
What's going on with Tolliver?
Tolliver has not been medically cleared yet. He's, he had I think you guys are aware that he had a scope, so it's not from a year ago's injury, but when he was working out, he had to have it scoped again in late January, early February. So that put him behind a little bit. So he's going to, be in the meetings, coach on the field with us, and hopefully he'll be 100% soon.
Can he be ready for week 1? Or
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. It might be longer.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to even be talking about medical stuff. but you can ask.
Well, they told me to ask you, so.
Do you think Hamiltonians will embrace Johnny despite his negative reputation?
I think Johnny, it's like a lot of people. They have some issues that you got to fight through, and Johnny inside is a good person, and he gets a second chance, and so I think that he'll prove that he is a viable player for our team, and I think it's up to him to act and be professional, which I think he does, and I think we'll be okay.
Do you feel that you have to protect the team or anything from over Johnniness from the outside?
Well, as I told them yesterday, And I told the quarterbacks when I talked to them, I said, you're going to get more exposure on national TV because Johnny's here. So just look at it that way. You know, it's a positive. You know, unfortunately, he's most likely going to be one of the 3 guys. So that affects obviously the got 4 or 5 down here right now, 3, 4, 5. But they can't worry about that. They just got to execute. I told them, I said, you're going to get a chance to play in preseason, show what you can do, and if it doesn't work out here, that's how the league is up here. Next week you're in Saskatchewan, or next week you're in Toronto, and that's just how it is.
Are you concerned that might have an impact on Manziel, who's a starter for the first time in his career? And
not really, not at all. He's very confident and knows what he's doing, and he's not, you know, he welcomes it, thinks it'll make him better too. I mean, that's how you got to do it, and he naturally does it that way.
Does that get addressed, coach, to number one on when you sign somebody that profile? Do you take time to go to talk to the other guy?
To Jeremiah?
To Jeremiah.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday. Yeah, certainly. You know, he's a real pro, and I treat him like a pro, and I don't hold anything back from him.
Did it surprise you that Manziel finally made the decision to come up, and did you play a role in?
Well, we were on, you know, kind of day to day for the last probably month, and we had some guys down at that spring league, 2 or 3 coaches, scouts, and so we were following it pretty close. And you know, as of 2 weeks ago, I thought that he would be here by camp. Well, that's kind of how I felt, and it worked out.
At a time when so many workplaces, corporations, businesses are actually firing people over allegations of domestic assault.
Yeah, well,
do you think it's the right move for the Ticats?
Well, let me just say this: it's a decision that the commissioner. You should talk to the commissioner about that. You know, we're just following the rules, and you know, that's his decision.
Do you think it?
If you want to ask me anything about football, go ahead and ask me. I don't have anything to comment on that stuff. You can get somebody in the front office to ask about that. I just coach the players that are out here.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.